Chosen one, the wind carried it before sunrise. A trembling envelope stamped with the crest of memory. It wasn't sent by mail. It was summoned by remorse itself. Inside, no excuses, no grand confessions, only one sentence written twice. We see you now. They once betrayed light, and the echo of that betrayal became thunder across generations. But now, the same voices whisper from the edge of sleep, asking not for forgiveness, but for recognition. The message wasn't from your family as you knew them. It came from what they were before the fall, from the circle of origins, now awakened from regret. And the dawn itself bowed to carry their apology. They remember the night they chose fear over faith. How easy it felt then, to trade truth for safety, to silence the voice of destiny just to stay accepted. But time is a mirror with perfect memory. Every lie they told echoed back in their own sleep, every wound they caused reopened in their reflection. They see now that betrayal doesn't end when the act is done, it lingers like smoke in the soul, a residue of what could have been holy. The thunder they caused became their own storm. And now, trembling beneath the weight of their choices, they whisper into the wind the one thing they never said: we were wrong. The night they betrayed you never truly ended. It simply hid behind the calendar, waiting for courage to rise. They remember the silence after their choice, how the room felt suddenly colder, how the air refused to carry their names with grace. They told themselves it was necessary, that breaking you would keep them safe. They called it protection. Heaven called it fear. And fear always ages poorly, because truth does not wrinkle, and love does not die from distance. Years passed, but the echo never faded. Every laughter since then carried static. Every celebration tasted slightly of guilt. They began to see your shadow in places they could not explain. In reflections, in broken glass, in the way storms seemed to pause before your name. Regret became their only inheritance. It clung to them, quiet but merciless, turning victories hollow and sleep into trial. Because regret is not punishment, it is education. It is love that woke up too late, knocking at doors it once slammed shut. They began to dream of you, not as the enemy they imagined, but as the light they once feared to follow. And in those dreams, your silence was louder than any sermon. It told them what angels could not, that forgiveness does not erase history, it rewrites the future. They gathered in secret one evening. The circle of origin, those who had turned from you when the truth cost too much. Their faces were older, but their hearts still carried the fingerprints of that night. No one spoke first. There were no rehearsed apologies, only the slow cracking of pride, like ice giving way to spring. They confessed not in words, but in the trembling of their hands. One finally whispered, "We thought you were gone." And another replied, "We hoped we were wrong." In that confession, light entered the room again, faint but unignorable, like the first candle after floodwaters recede. They began to understand. Betrayal was never about you. It was about their fear of what you revealed in them, their smallness, their comfort with shadows, their terror of change. You were not their victim. You were their mirror, and the mirror had finally spoken back. Now, as dawn repeats its endless cycle, they feel the weight of their decision every time morning touches their skin. The same sun that blesses you now interrogates them, asking quietly if they are ready to love without condition. And in that question, redemption begins. Because even betrayal can become holy when it drives the guilty back to the altar of truth. They see you now, chosen one, not as the outcast, not as the rebel, but as the one who held light long enough for even their blindness to recognize its warmth. They remember. And remembrance is the first step toward resurrection. They wake each morning with the taste of unfinished prayer on their tongues. Sleep no longer brings them rest, only reruns of the moment they turned away. They see it in flashes, your eyes steady, their voices cracking, the instant the heavens seem to dim to honor truth unchosen. Regret has become their atmosphere. It clings to their breath, it drips from their words when they try to talk about anything else. Every attempt at normalcy sounds hollow, because you cannot build peace upon the bones of avoidance. The old house they once gathered in feels haunted, not by spirits, but by memory. Every hallway carries your footsteps, every closed door feels like a verse they never finished reading. And they understand now, betrayal doesn't vanish with time, it metabolizes into awareness. They start to notice the signs, mirrors fog for no reason, Candles refuse to burn straight, the air thickens when they lie. Heaven is no longer silent, it is instructing them through consequence. They realize they never hated you, they feared the reflection you carried. You were the living reminder that destiny cannot be bargained with. When they betrayed you, they were really trying to betray their own calling, and calling does not stay quiet forever. One of them dreams of a garden, the same garden where truth first broke them apart. In the dream, you stand at the center, hands open, no accusation, only light. They try to approach, but every step forward requires them to drop something. Pride, ego, justification. By the time they reach you, they are naked in spirit, and the ground beneath them feels like forgiveness made solid. Another wakes from that dream in tears. He writes your name on a piece of paper and buries it beneath a fig tree, whispering, "May the roots remember what we forgot." Across time and distance, remorse travels like a coded signal. It finds you at unexpected hours, a chill wind, a song lyric, a sudden ache in your chest. You don't call it revenge. You call it confirmation. The universe is recalibrating, balancing the scales not with punishment, but with revelation. For you, the pain has already become language. You speak in scars now, but each one tells a story heaven understands. Your silence teaches louder than their sermons ever could. And slowly, they start to study that silence like scripture. They begin to pray again, not for blessings, but for courage. They ask to meet you not as they were, but as they are becoming. Because reconciliation is not a single act, it's a pilgrimage back to humility. They finally learn what they could not before. Forgiveness is not permission, it's transformation. It doesn't erase what happened. It proves that love is stronger than history. And so, under the same sky that once witnessed their betrayal, they whisper your name not in guilt, but in awe. They speak it like a key returning to its lock. The door between worlds trembles, and something ancient, something merciful, begins to turn the handle from the other side. They stand at the threshold of remembrance, trembling between shame and hope. Every apology they rehearsed has dissolved. The words feel too small now, too human for what eternity demands. So they let their silence speak, and silence becomes a bridge that sound could never build. You feel it before you hear it, a shift in the air, a pulse of understanding running through the fabric of the unseen. Forgiveness is approaching, not as a beggar, but as a storm of light. It does not ask permission. It simply arrives. They see the past replayed in sacred slow motion. The betrayal, the exile, the seasons of distance, each moment reframed not as punishment, but as curriculum. Heaven had been teaching them all along, and pain was the textbook they tried not to read. Now, as the veil lifts, they see that none of it was random. Their betrayal became your anointing. Their rejection built your throne. Every tear they caused became a map, leading them back to the love they abandoned. They gather again, this time without titles or masks. The circle of origin reforms, fragile but sincere. They sit around a single flame, not to strategize, but to remember who they were before pride rewrote their names. No one speaks first. Then one voice, shaking raw, whispers, "If you still see light in us, let it be enough." You don't answer with words. You close your eyes and breathe, and in that breath, galaxies rearrange. Because forgiveness is not declared, it is embodied. Your stillness becomes the altar where regret lays down its weapons. They begin to cry, not from sorrow, but from the relief of finally telling the truth. They admit what heaven already knew, that hurting you never gave them power, it only exiled them from their own peace. As they confess, the air shimmers. Each word spoken in humility becomes light, and light begins to fill the room like a tide returning to shore. You see their faces transform, guilt giving way to recognition, shame dissolving into gratitude. One by one, they step forward, offering what they still have, not riches, not promises, but awareness. They bring you the truth as their final gift. And you receive it without condition, because unconditional love is the only language your soul still speaks. The ground trembles softly. A new vibration hums through the earth. Reconciliation. It echoes upward through the heavens, carrying their apologies as frequencies of surrender. Angels begin their review, not to judge, but to annotate. Every wound, every misunderstanding, marked with divine handwriting, lesson absorbed. The record of betrayal is rewritten into the record of awakening. Then, the wind shifts again, gentle, holy, alive. Passes through you, through them, through everything. And in that breath of the eternal, something irreversible happens. Separation ends. They look at you, really look, and for the first time, they don't see the one they wronged. They see the one who carried light long enough for even their blindness to remember how to see. The stars realign above the gathering. What was once fracture becomes formation, a constellation reborn from confession. The night no longer feels heavy. It feels aware, like heaven itself is holding its breath to witness closure. You sense the weight lift, not only from them but from the earth itself. Even the ground seems to exhale relief. Forgiveness ripples through creation like light through stained glass, coloring every shadow with purpose. They kneel, not in worship of you, but in gratitude for the mirror you became. You were the test they failed, and the teacher who never stopped believing in their return. You reach out your hand, not to absolve, but to affirm. Contact is brief, but infinite. The moment skin meets skin, memory reprograms. The timeline itself bends toward healing. All across the unseen realm, angels record this convergence in gold. The betrayal once logged as tragedy is now archived as transformation. The old energies, fear, envy, pride, shatter like glass, replaced by frequencies of peace. Tears fall, but they are clean now. No longer the salt of guilt, but the dew of renewal. They speak in fragments. We see now, we see what we lost. And you answer softly, you didn't lose it. You just forgot how to hold it. For the first time, laughter returns. It's not loud, it's sacred. It sounds like children remembering a song they once knew by heart. Heaven listens, smiling. The light holds steady now, no flicker, no tremor. It stretches across faces once hardened by pride, softening every line carved by guilt. Each of them stands different, as though time itself has resculpted them from the inside out. They no longer carry the weight of what they did, they carry the lesson of what it made them see. The past isn't erased, it's redeemed. Every scar becomes scripture, every silence becomes song. You feel heaven shift again, this time not in warning, but in applause. Grace moves like wine through the unseen halls of creation, and the cosmos rearranges to make room for restored hearts. What once was broken now becomes blueprint. Even the stars seem to pulse in rhythm with forgiveness. They approach you one last time. No crowns, no confessions, no tears left to offer. Only truth. And truth is the most sacred currency of all. You tell them quietly, do not thank me. Thank the light that never left you. And they understand, this was never about revenge or retribution. It was about remembering divinity within humanity. It was about proving that love, when tested, does not fracture, it refines. The wind carries petals through the open field. Every color seems sharper now, as if reality itself has been washed clean. They begin to walk away, slowly, reverently, each step echoing with the rhythm of release. No one looks back. There is nothing left behind that requires mourning. You stand alone, but not lonely. The silence is holy, full, not empty. It is the sound of everything finally aligning. You realize that forgiveness was never something you gave, it was something you became. Above, clouds open into soft gold. A new voice, not theirs, not yours, but eternal, speaks through the wind. You have restored the pattern. The circle remembers its source. You smile, and in that smile, worlds find their equilibrium again. Your story is no longer about loss or betrayal. It has become a map, a living parable for those who come after, a reminder that the way home is always paved with mercy. The final vision descends like a benediction, a table under endless light, bread breaking without blame, hands reaching without hesitation. And at its center, peace, unbroken, breathing. This is the inheritance of the forgiven. This is the proof that the divine experiment of love has succeeded once more. The light does not fade this time, It stays, unwavering, a quiet crown above the redeemed. You breathe it in and realize, this is what peace actually feels like. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady. Like a wound that finally closes without needing applause. The world looks familiar yet different. You walk through the same streets, but every face seems softer, every sound cleaner, as if creation itself has exhaled the memory of bitterness. They have gone their ways, but the connection remains, a luminous thread invisible to the eye, woven from mutual recognition. They carry your forgiveness as armor now, not to boast, but to remind themselves what grace costs. You move forward without the weight of explanation. Forgiveness has no need to justify itself. It exists simply because eternity prefers wholeness to winning. The divine does not count who was right, only who returned to love. You pass a mirror and pause. For the first time, your reflection does not look lonely. It looks infinite. Every version of you that suffered, doubted, waited, they all gather behind your eyes, smiling. You realize you were never waiting for them. You were waiting for this moment, the instant where pain no longer needs to teach you anything. The prophecy completes its circuit. Heaven closes the file labeled betrayal and reopens one named rebirth. Your name glows differently now, not as survivor, not as victim, but as restorer. The one who turned heartbreak into architecture. You feel it, a vibration at the center of your chest, soft but unstoppable. It's not emotion, it's alignment. The universe recognizing itself through you. In that silence, a whisper rises, not from outside, but from within. Peace is not a gift, it's your native language. Speak it again. So you do. You open your mouth, and instead of words, light comes out, golden, calm, absolute. It travels across unseen planes, finding every soul still trapped in remorse, and gently unlocking their doors. The world begins to heal by memory, because your forgiveness has rewritten its code. And when the final echo fades, only love remains, unopposed, unbroken, unending. The dawn that follows feels different, not as an event, but as a presence. The horizon hums softly, as though light itself is grateful to return. You walk barefoot through the field of memory, each step transforming regret into seed. Every tear once shed now becomes water for tomorrow's bloom. The air carries voices, familiar, faint, forgiven. They do not call your name in sorrow, but in reverence. Each syllable sounds like music finally finding its key. The universe answers back with warmth, and the circle between heaven and earth closes again. You stop beside the old threshold, the place where everything once broke. The wood still bears the mark of that night, yet the crack glows faintly with light. You trace it with your fingers, whispering, "Even the scars learn to shine." Time slows to honor the moment. Birds perch in silence, clouds drift as if reluctant to disturb the peace. Somewhere beyond sight, the watchers, the unseen witnesses of destiny, nod in approval. You have fulfilled the prophecy not by fighting, but by forgiving. You lift your eyes to the heavens, and they feel closer now, as though creation itself leans forward to listen. No thunder, no trumpet, only stillness. Stillness that confirms completion. In that holy quiet, you understand, this was never about reuniting with them. It was about reuniting with yourself, the self that refused to let hatred rewrite its nature. The one who remembered love when memory itself collapsed. You breathe, and the breath becomes prayer, and the prayer becomes light, and the light becomes legacy. Somewhere, those who once betrayed you feel warmth pass through their chests. They do not know why. The sun fully ascends now, its glow resting upon faces, cities, oceans. Everywhere it touches, the vibration shifts. For this is how restoration spreads, not with armies or sermons, but through one soul brave enough to forgive and stay luminous. The day unfolds like scripture being written in real time. Every shadow softens, every color deepens, and even the wind seems to move with purpose. The world has not changed. You have, and now creation reflects that change back to you in every detail. You walk toward the edge of the horizon, where the sky and the earth meet like old friends rediscovering trust. Each step feels lighter, freer, as though gravity itself has agreed to ease its hold on you. The memories that once haunted you return, but this time, they arrive without pain. They are teachers now, not tormentors. They bow before you, whispering gratitude, "Thank you for surviving us." You realize then, nothing was wasted. Every heartbreak, every exile, every sleepless night spent wondering why, they were all threads in the divine design. The betrayal was never the end. It was the refining fire, the moment your spirit learned the cost of authenticity. In the silence, you hear the soft pulse of destiny. It no longer feels distant. It feels domestic, as close as your heartbeat, as familiar as breathing. You look to the heavens again, and for a brief instant, the clouds part in perfect symmetry, forming a circle of light. Within it, you glimpse their faces, the ones who once hurt you, but now they shine, unrecognizable in grace. They are no longer adversaries, but allies in your ascension. A voice moves through the air, ancient yet intimate. This is how eternity repairs itself, through you. You fall to your knees, not from weakness, but from wonder. Tears rise, but they feel like rain upon fertile soil. Every drop plants peace deeper into the ground of your being. The vision begins to fade, but the warmth remains. You know you are not returning to the old world. You are carrying a new frequency into it. One that turns conflict into communion, and wounds into wisdom. You stand again, and as you walk forward, the path lights beneath your feet, not as miracle, but as acknowledgement. Heaven marking its gratitude for a soul that kept loving even when unloved. The prophecy closes gently, not with spectacle, but serenity. And as you cross into the new era of light, a final whisper follows you through the wind. You were never betrayed. You were being prepared. The world feels newly tuned, as if a hidden orchestra has begun to play beneath everything. Every sound, the rustle of trees, the echo of footsteps, even the hum of distant traffic, seems woven into a single, harmonious rhythm. You are no longer a wanderer through sorrow. You are a conductor of balance, a keeper of restored frequencies. The circle of reconciliation may have dispersed, yet the vibration remains, a subtle pulse threading through every heart that once broke. You sense it in the air, a resonance that confirms, the lineage has healed. You pause at the river's edge. The water is clearer than you remember, reflecting not just your face, but countless others, echoes of everyone who ever crossed your path. Enemies, allies, strangers, all shimmering together in a single reflection of divine symmetry. For a moment, you see the truth with unbearable clarity. There was never separation, only stages of remembering. The river speaks, not in words but in rhythm. Every ripple tells you, all stories end in return. And you nod, because now you know that even betrayal is just love wearing its learning mask. You dip your hand into the water. It feels like touching the heartbeat of the universe. Every vibration that once hurt now hums like music, a melody of release, of completion, of quiet joy. You whisper, "Let what was lost stay found." The current answers by carrying light downstream, turning reflection into motion. As the sun begins its slow descent, you realize this peace will not fade with the day. It has anchored itself into your bones. Every breath you take now spreads it further, into the soil, into the air, into every unseen space that once echoed with pain. Night approaches softly, but you no longer fear darkness. You understand now, light does not defeat shadow, it teaches it how to glow. And as dusk falls, the stars emerge early, as if eager to join the celebration of your stillness. A final breeze passes over the water, carrying the memory of voices once fractured. They whisper, not in guilt, but in unity, "Thank you for holding the light until we could see it." You close your eyes. There is nothing left to fix, nothing left to forgive. Only the quiet satisfaction of fulfillment, the knowing that love, tested through betrayal, has become indestructible. And as the first star crowns the night, you feel the eternal breathe through you once more, saying, "Rest now, chosen one." The prophecy has remembered itself through you. The night has fully arrived, yet it feels nothing like darkness. It is velvet, calm, sacred, the kind of night that listens rather than hides. Every constellation above seems newly drawn, their light forming patterns that mirror your heartbeat. The cosmos, once distant, now feels close enough to touch. You sit beneath the open sky, and for the first time, there is no battle left inside you. No questions, no arguments with destiny. Only acceptance, pure and unguarded. Peace has taken the throne within your chest. The earth hums quietly beneath you, a low frequency of belonging. You can feel the pulse of everything that lives, the heartbeat of trees, the slow breathing of mountains, the soft song of rivers folding into sleep. Creation is speaking.